Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's March 21st, 2017, the second day of spring. One of the top stories is Neil Gorsuch has begun his hearings to potentially become the 9th Supreme Court Justice, replacing the deceased Antonin Scalia, who passed February 13th, 2016, the 44th day of the year, the first day of Lupercalia. And his hearing is starting 49 days after his nomination on January 31st. If you missed my video on why he was picked January 31st, I'll link that in the description. We're going to talk about why the hearing is starting 49 days later. Remember, everything in Washington, D.C. is a puppet show, from the president to the Congress people to the Supreme Court. All of these people create an illusion. None of them have power. None of them make decisions. They're all puppets carrying out the agenda of those who govern from the shadows. The U.S. government, as the common person knows it, nothing more than stage theater. None of those people have any power or make any decisions. They are all actors, including the Supreme Court Justice to be. All the theater done in Washington, D.C., and all the theater created by our media and our federal government, it is all created by the numbers, which is a Masonic Zionist code. Your shadow government, the New World Order, the Illuminati, they are a gang of Freemasons in high places, and Zionist Jews. Notice they emphasize this headline, fearlessly. Gorsuch, I'll enforce travel ban fearlessly. So he'll violate the Constitution fearlessly, just like all of the puppets do that go to Washington, D.C. Fearlessly happens to have gematria 58, just like the name Neil Gorsuch. And remember, Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th presidential election. It's really a selection. The 58th presidential inauguration for Trump was on a date with 58 numerology. They hired the 58-year-old Steve Ray to host the ceremonies. More than a year before that, Trump announced his campaign for president at the 58-story Trump Tower. Been talking a lot about 58. So Neil Gorsuch was nominated January 31st, 1/31 as we write it in the U.S. His name also has gematria of 131. Perfect day for him to be nominated. Today, where his hearing is beginning after the nomination, 49 days later. And if you go back and watch the video, I think I might have even called this dead on. I said, watch. The next step will be by the numbers relevant to Washington, D.C. 49, one of the most relevant numbers to Washington, D.C. Donald J. Trump, 49, Washington, 49, number commonly coded on U.S. presidents' names. So somebody said that they were listening today, and on the news, they said this is coming 47 days later. That is not true, but I bet you anything, some news outlets are reporting this is 47 days after the nomination, just for the symbolism of 47. Remember what 47 has to do with a judge. Judge equals 47 in ordinal, just like gavel, just like obey, just like authority. The Freemason compass, the compass and square, the Freemason symbol, set at 47 degrees. The streets of Washington, D.C., built at the same angles as the compass and square. The 47-degree angle points right at the White House. White House has the gematria of 47, like president, like government. Special number here, 47. The Freemasons have Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation. Foundation 47. Special number. This person says they heard on the news, they're saying the nomination's coming 47 days later. And I completely believe that because I've seen it multiple times doing this research where they misreport a number on purpose because it's symbolic to the story. The media does this all the time. The media loves to put 47 in front of people's face, even when it's not true. And that's where my research once began, long before I knew about gematria. The first question I had was, why does the media report 47 so much? And if you pay attention, It's undeniable. This morning I turned on the TV, and as soon as the picture loaded, there was a 47% on with some stat they were putting up. And it's like that all the time. News even has the gematria of 47. So it's not really 47 days later, it's 49 days later, but the point is, we know why they're saying 47. Also, from Antonin Scalia's death on the first day of Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year. Remember, the word kill equals 44, so does the word ranch. Antonin Scalia found dead at a ranch on the 44th day of the year. Did a lot of work on Antonin Scalia's death, how it was foreshadowed in the TV show Family Guy, to the date, and so much more. There was nothing natural about Antonin Scalia's death. They said they found a pillow over his head. I'll just show you what's so funny about this. Pillow, gematria of 33 and 87. Antonin, found with a pillow over his head, 33 and 87. And the word justice, with the S exception, also shares the 33, but an ordinal is 87. You see that? Supreme Court Justice, federal government, federal 33. So anyway, from his death to March 29th, this is my prediction. March 29th is the day Neil Gorsuch is officially going to become a Supreme Court Justice. That will be 411 days after the death of Antonin Scalia. 4 times 11 is 44. Scalia dead on the 44th day. The word kill 44. The word Freemason has gematria of 411. So does the word assassin. Remember, JFK was killed from 411 Elm Street. His death was foreshadowed on Christmas Day with a bootlegging family getting busted at 411 Elm Street. Christmas also has gematria of 411 as it happens, and JFK's death was foreshadowed on Christmas Day, again at 411 Elm Street, where he was really shot from. And just with regards to John F. Kennedy shares the gematria of 49, this important number to Washington. His body was flown back to Washington after being shot in Dallas. Dallas has the gematria of 49. Anyway, March 29th, 411 days after the passing of Scalia, I think we're going to see Gorsuch officially a justice on that date. From the beginning of the nomination process for Gorsuch, January 31st, to March 29th is 57 days later. Supreme Court equals 57. I put up Supreme Court twice. Whoops. What I meant to also put up there was Scottish Rite. Scottish Rite Freemasonry has gematria of 57. I'll fix that. It will also be a span of 58 days from his nomination, and his name connects to 58, like we talked about with the Fearless heading. Freemasonry 58, Secret Society 58, Annuit Coeptus equals 58. Forgot to finish typing that in. United States has gematria of 58. With the S exception, even Washington has the gematria of 58, where the federal headquarters are. So, very fitting date for Gorsuch to become a Supreme Court Justice. I think he will March 29th, 8 days from today. Also, up here in the headlines today, big gray cloud hangs over White House. You know, we know what a big gray cloud means, like sadness, something wrong. We've been getting, all this predictive programming for some sort of destruction to happen in Washington, D.C. at the White House. Could it happen? Possibly. Is this headline predictive programming? Big gray cloud happens to share gematria of 61, which also connects to White House. So just wanted to point out that headline they have this morning. Why Neil Gorsuch getting the hearings today? It's all by the numbers. And just real quick, we were talking about 47 in Washington, D.C., President 47 authority, White House, government, Washington, D.C., the Freemason compass set at 47 degrees. The right angle at the bottom, 90 degrees. That's 137 degrees around the big G. Here's the street layout at Washington, D.C. with the exact same angles pointing right at the White House. Washington, D.C., 47 degrees plus 90, also 137, 137, the 33rd prime. Big G represents 33, like federal, like masonry, like secrecy. Again, the Freemasons got the 47th problem of Euclid. case I forgot to mention it, the word time equals 47. And with regards to this world we live in, the tropics, which measure time in the solstices, are exactly 47 degrees apart. 23.5 north, 23.5 south. In other words, there's a reason for all of these numbers. They're not arbitrary. Also, real quick, I want to touch on James Comey becoming involved in the wiretap theatrical performance, which is a tribute to Richard Nixon being replaced by Gerald Ford, Watergate, wiretapping. Yesterday, James Comey, the head of the FBI, weighed in on the 79th day of the year, the first day of spring. You gotta love that spring equals 79, like it falling on the first day, or spring falling on the 79th day of the year so often. As I mentioned yesterday, it was the 17th day of the wiretapping story. 17 connects to FBI. The FBI weighs in on the 17th day. It began 4/3, this wiretap scandal. Wiretap 43, Richard 43, Ford 43. Trump blamed Obama, the 44th president, but only the 43rd person to be president was Obama. Just like Trump's number 45, but the 44th person. Yesterday, the day Comey weighed in, March 20th, date with 33 numerology. 33 numerology. Federal equals 33, Federal Bureau of Investigation. It was 96 days after Comey's birthday. The degrees of significance in Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, 33. Add those numbers together, 96. James Comey, currently 56 years old. By the way, the name James equals 33 in reverse reduction. But just look, 56, special year. What I overlooked when I was talking about this yesterday is the significance of 79 in regards to the history of the FBI. They call it the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Notice that Federal Bureau has gematria of 79. Federal Bureau of Investigation sums to 133, like government, like White House. Another special number there, 133, which has the 33 right at the end. This ongoing feud with Comey and Trump. Before it was Comey and Clinton. Check this out. Here's why 79 matters. The original face of the FBI was J. Edgar Hoover, right? J. Edgar Hoover died at age 77. Washington, D.C. is on the 77th meridian. Remember the word theater? Let's just appreciate this. The word theater has gematria of 77 and 32. The first thing Obama did as president was reopened Ford's Theater, which had been closed since 77. He reopened it 32 years later, 2009, on the 77th meridian. All part of the ongoing puppet show by the numbers. Washington, D.C., the 77th meridian, the American meridian. J. Edgar Hoover died at age 77 on a date with 79 numerology. The word murder equals 79. Also, the date in history that the FBI changed its name to FBI was March 22nd, infamous date. Date was 79 numerology. So this number, 79, highly relevant to the FBI. On the 79th day of the year, the FBI says the president isn't that credible. Think about it. The story is going somewhere. It was May 2nd that he died. Freemason and Francis Bacon gematria is 122. If you missed my video calling the FBI, I called the FBI a couple months back to let them know they were a terrorist organization, and I was starting to explain the ritualistic death of J. Edgar Hoover, and I got hung up on. I almost felt like I should call back and confront them again about being a terrorist organization, duping the masses, having these puppets like James Comey. Don't worry, True Seeker. Once the book's out, I plan on starting my book tour in Washington, D.C. with a backpack and a camera, a backpack full of books and a camera, just going around recording. Have you guys seen that tool, Mark Dice, who goes on the streets and mocks people? That fucking piece of shit shill? I'm going to go on the streets and educate people with the real knowledge and get them to wake up instead of making fun of them. But that'll be one of the first things I do once my book's out. I'm going to D.C., I'm going to walk that big Freemasonic compass and square all day, making documentaries, passing out books, getting the word out. and maybe I'll make a call from the FBI right from the streets outside their headquarters, see if I can get a little meeting. Let James Comey know his puppet days are over. But everything's done by the numbers in D.C. March 22nd, people know 322 for Skull and Bones. That date can also be written 22/3, big number to Freemasonry. With regards to the compass and square and the 137 degrees, let me pull that back up. Where'd I hide that at? The circle has 360 degrees, right? If you subtract these 137 degrees from the circle, you get 223. That number that's so significant to Freemasonry. That might be what it's all about. Also, just caught this headline. Presidential golf tracker. Apparently Obama went on 333 golfing trips while President of the United States. Remember, the word president equals 47, right? And the Freemason compass and square set at 47 degrees. The Freemasons have the 47th problem of Euclid, which in gematria sums to 333. What the compass that's set at 47 degrees means to the Freemasonry is circumscribe our desires and keep our passions within due bounds, which equals 333. Now think about the president going on 333 golfing trips when president equals 47. You see what's going on here, Truth Seeker? Nothing but news by the numbers, Freemason salutes. These people are so ritualistic, it is their undoing, These people, very easy to see through in what they've been doing. The Zionist nation of Israel, which the United States of America brought into existence largely, was established on the 333rd day of 1947 by a vote of 33-13 at the United Nations. And something I'd like to know is there could have been a 47th nation to vote for one more 47 on it, but that nation abstained. And who knows, maybe they were going against this Masonic agenda and they didn't want it to be so perfect. But I find it interesting that there could have also been 47 total votes instead of 46 total votes. But 333rd day of 47, the United Nations recognized Israel. The United Nations symbols 33 parts. See what's going on here, Truth Seeker? From way back then, even before then, up to the present, nothing but news by the numbers. I'll link this post down below in case you missed it. Go back and check out my work on Antonin Scalia. Till we put this gang out of power, nothing's changing. It'll be news by the numbers from here to infinity. Until next time. Encore. With regards to the March 29th prediction for Trump's first Supreme Court Justice nominee becoming an official member, notice that March 29th is the 88th day of the year, and again, Trump has that gematria of 88 as well as 47. So, March 29th, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Gorsuch as an official member of the Supreme Court, and we'll know exactly why. News by the numbers. Until next time.